Hey, hello everyone. I hope that you're having a really good day or good morning, good afternoon, good night. Um, a very good day in whatever your zone you might be. Today, we're going to be talking about these three concepts that you can see in the screen. The first one is leadership. Um, More like, what is leadership? I've been asking this question like for a century, and don't worry, we have the answer for you. And the second one is getting out of the comfort zone. And the third one, or the last but not least, is what is a problem? And seriously, what is a problem? And how do we deal with it? So, how rude of me. I haven't even introduced myself. My name is Sofia Torres, and I'm the executive director of Espacio Mejor Foundation. Everyone calls me Sophie, and my favorite food is my grandmother empanada de pino. My dream and my most important dream is that every person in this world has or feel the call to make a change and take care the social of any social problem that's around them, and they feel capable of make these changes, that they feel like they don't have to have superpowers or be born with the superstar of leadership or whatever that could that be. It could be just having the need and care for something and take care of it, you know? So, our foundation is based on Chile. Yes, the red line that is on the map, just right there, just so you know. And our mission is train agents of change throughout the exercise of leadership who take responsibility strategically and creatively of the challenge of the environment to generate progress. Our vision is that one day, each and every one of the young people will be more aware and effective when it comes to taking on challenges to change the world and build a better space. Here are our values. I'm not going to go very deep in it, so there they are. We've been doing this for 10 years, and I know it's a lot of time. I know, but we have different programs, and all of them address the adaptive leadership model, which we will talk about later. Okay, these programs touch in depth the elements of leadership that we must know, and from there how we can apply it to the problems that we face. Among these programs, we have the Agents of Change program in two versions, the PAC Women and PAC Latinoamérica, jornadas de centros de alumnos and lideranza. So here we have all the faces of all the people that compose our foundation, and I thought that it would be very important for you to know them, because today you just can see me here in your screen, and this foundation works just for them, that they work so hard day by day to get all the programs to work to a perfection, to get complete in just the most perfection way that could want would see you that we could want, so sorry. So I don't know, I thought that all their faces has had to be shown to the rest of the world. It shouldn't just be me here. So today I came here to make you an invitation, and actually I'm not doing the invitation. I'm just going to deliver the invitation to you, because the invitation is from the world. Yup, this world that is in great danger and has many problems. And I'm not talking about the coronavirus, you know. I'm talking about all the problems that were here before the coronavirus, and they're been like being more evident since the coronavirus. So the invitation is for you from this very endangered world. So now I want you to bear with me and use all your imagination and your abstract thoughts to make this part of the talk. I want you to ask you, like, what is a box for you? And I mean, like, literally, what is a box for you? And we're going to do something. You're going to pause the video, you're going to search for a piece of paper, and you're going to write on it, what is a box for you? And I'll be waiting here. Don't worry. Go ahead. I'm going to be taking a sip of water. So I can imagine, you know, what could be the answers. More or less should be like, it's a place or a thing that you can store things on. Maybe it could be something that you can save or store things and then put it in the closet because you don't longer need them at the moment. Maybe it could be a dark place, or maybe it could be an object that is not that important as others because it's just a box. But again, bear with me. What would happen if I tell you, what if we were inside the box? You know, maybe we would be very comfy in it, you know, comfortable in it. That's a hard one for me. Maybe we wouldn't want to go out. No one would bother us. Or maybe we couldn't be able to see the world correctly. And for that, we couldn't maybe solve problems correctly. So I'm going to leave the thought there. And I swear to you, this, I promise, this is going to make sense at the end of the talk, okay? As we move forward in it. So, we already talked about what is a box and all other things. But one of the things that is really amazing about leadership and the concept, and of course, technology, is when we search this concept on Google, we have this amount of results. And I'm not going to try to say the number because I can't even say it in Spanish. So, but just so you know, there's a lot of results. It's an immense amount of results, okay? And it is just in 0.46 seconds. I mean, it's so little bit of a time, you know? So it's necessary to know that there's a lot of trends of thoughts about them. There's a lot of theories and models and all that stuff. But I think it's necessary that you know that these theories, they all try to explain the concept of leadership. They are just examples. I already said there's so many of them, but among them there's personalist, synthesizers, situationist, transactional, and systemic. And we could say that all of these are very good theories with tons of research and our work behind them. But they all point to the same thing, and that leaders are superhuman and are people they are people that were born with some special capabilities and therefore are like that, leaders. And I know that, sorry, I didn't pass the slide. So the next thing that I'm going to tell you is could come like a little bit of a shock. So don't get scared and don't click out the video. And I promise, these all have a good explanation. We don't believe really that leaders exist. And yes, I know that you might be thinking like, Sophie, I know them. I know that they exist. I've seen them, Greta, Malala, Gandhi, and so many, many more. And you're very, very right, they are real people, but we think that they are not leaders. They know how to exercise leadership. They are persons that exercise leadership, and why we say that? Because we think that leadership is an activity that consists in mobilizing people to face the most difficult problems, generating in them an adaptation work that allows them to progress. This definition was made for a neuropsychiatrist, wow, I said that in just one try, called Ronald Heifetz. And he created a model that it's called adaptive leadership. And we made a foundation based on it. So, hey Ronald, how are you? So he says that, and we believe too, that leadership is an activity. And it's an activity just like any other, like cooking, singing, running, and all of them, like whatever you can imagine. And all of them can be practiced. You can practice to do this, or you can learn it, just like leadership. You don't have to like have a great thing or talent to do that, to exercise leadership. You can learn it, you can practice it. So we already know what is leadership, oh sorry you already know what is leadership. And well, for what would we need a leadership or an exercise of leadership? Maybe to solve problems in our society. So that leads us to our next question. What is a problem? Seriously, as I said at the beginning, what on earth is a problem? And I want you to us to make the same dynamic that we made in the part of the box. You're going to pause a video and you're going to write down in the other face of the paper, because we have to reuse. What is for you a problem? Okay, I'll be waiting here for you. Don't you worry. I've been I'm going to take a sip of water, just like the last time. So go ahead. Okay, are you done? So I can imagine, again, what the answers could be. A problem could be seen as something negative, or maybe that you have to, something that you have to solve, or maybe something that doesn't let you do something. For us, and I hope for you too, a problem is a gap between reality and expectation, between being and wanting having to be. For example, reality is going to be our point A. And for example, we're going to take this. I really want to go out, but I can't because enclosure, because COVID. And my point B could be go to the beach. That's my expectation. And that's the way or the path that it's in, I mean, the gap that is between being in my house, in my room, and go to the beach, it's going to be my problem. So the closer we are to, I mean, the closer the gap is, again, the shorter the gap is, the closer we are to solve our problems. So what about you? We've been talking about problems and leadership and all that stuff, and I'm sure that you're thinking something. So what are you thinking? What is the problem that bothers you the most? Could be maybe global warming. We've been seeing a lot of fires and really big ones. Or maybe it could be contamination, pollution. This is what bothers us. Maybe all the catastrophes that climate change has brought upon us bother us. Racism bother us. Coronavirus. And let me stop for a second here. Is coronavirus only the problem? It just depends of the healthcare professionals to solve it, or at least to get worse. And here, give me a second, please. Is this a problem? And don't get me wrong, with this drawing, my intention is not to give this man a bad reputation. In all cases, he can do that by himself. But I want to represent something with this drawing, is that many times the people who are supposed to solve these problems, or who have the more leading role on this, since the problems that we have seen are not only to be solved by authorities, we must all help, but these people who we think should be working to solve these problems many times fail us. And in this moment of world crisis, it's more evident the lack of leadership. So, how can I take care of this kind of situations? Because after seeing this, I know, there are so many other problems, but and we had to leave them out of this talk today, because if I put all the problems in the world, We could be listing them all day and even longer. So I urge you to think, what are the problems that surround you? And we do this not to get depressed, but to identify which of all of these problems bother us the most and call us to act. And it will always be a work in progress. You know, it doesn't have to give us an immediate result. We're going to have to fail in the process, you know. We're going to have to try again and fail again and then try again and keep going until we have a progress. And there's so many people that started with trying to solve a huge problem in our societies, and they no longer are here, and they're not going to be able to see the final result, and maybe either us going to be that final result. I'm thinking, like, for example, the women that started the feminism movement, for example. And as this example, there are many more. So this is the timeline of how we're going to solve a problem. You know, we're going to see a problem, we're going to identify the adaptive challenge, we're going to exercise leadership, and adaptive change will come, and that finally will lead us to social progress. But let me correct myself, because in all realness, and not to be lying to you, I will say that it's not that easy. We're going to have a problem, we're going to identify the adaptive challenge, and we're going to try, and we're going to fail, and try again, and rethink what the solution could be, or maybe if I'm seeing the problem right. And in all this path of trying and failing and all that stuff, we're going to have to exercise leadership. And at the end, we're going to have an adaptive change. And that finally it's going to take us or lead us to a social progress. And leadership is dangerous. It's dangerous because it's exhausting. And as an advice for you, you have to surround yourself with people that encourage you to take care of these problems and to keep going. And in many occasions and times, you're going to find these people in the path of making a change. And they are going to be people like, they really think like you and care about the same problems, like just as you. So be aware for that moment to happen. Pay attention when these persons appear. So this part is very important, because all these people were not born with the recognition they have today. They all started with small things. Some protesting alone, others forming a company in their parents' garage. It's not necessary to do something giant to make a change. You can start with something small. Today, I was telling a friend how nervous I was about this webinar. And I'm still am. And you might wonder why. I have been doing classes for many years, maybe 7. And I've known how to speak English for 4 years now. but I had never done both together. So I was tremendously nervous about it, because even if you may not believe it, speaking with a friend in English is very, very different to making a talk or a class in English. They are two very, very different things, since language in a talk like this one must be more assertive, and I wanted the message to be delivered perfectly. Today with this, I'm leaving my comfort zone, and I almost didn't do it, really, just for fear of failure. And I thought to myself, I've been telling people and screaming out loud, like, you have to go out of your comfort zone, and you have to make changes, and it doesn't matter if you have fear and you're scared, because you have to confront these fears, and etc. So I thought to myself, I should be the first. And I'm sitting on my room, and I'm going out of my comfort zone. And with this, I really hope, and I'm convinced that what I am communicating today will resonate in someone's mind, and this person will be encouraged to make a change. Since one of the problems that bothers me the most is that is a lack of leadership in the communities of the world. And when we have leadership in our communities, many times authorities, or I don't know, society, don't let us or don't let them exercise leadership. So maybe it could be that I'm not doing something really, really big, I'm just talking to you. But I really think that I could make a change. And I'm really confronting my fears. I'm still nervous. I think it's going to pass at some point. So, this is the most important question. Do you accept the invitation? So, we know that sometimes the most difficult part is to begin. So, just for you to get going, we have a challenge for you. Name any problem present in your social environment and an idea of how you could take care of it. Share it in the comment section down below, and maybe you could find something that thinks like you and has the same problem like you, or maybe you both have the same solution, and maybe you can make company to him, her, or him or her could make company to you in this path of making a change. So we are at the end of this talk, and thank you very, very much for staying until the end. And we also want to thank Global Changemakers for inviting us and having us here, to Sarah and Courtney, who have made the arrangement so we could be here, and that today our organizations are also united in a strategic alliance to make and enhance our purpose. That's a very hard word for me. Which this purpose are very, very similar, that can be summarized in that young people are the today of our world. And that they are capable of exercising leadership and making a difference. So I don't know, maybe global change makers could leave our social networks down below in the box of information down below, in case you want to get more informed about our programs. And thank you very much. I really hope that I see you soon. Bye.